So we're back on Ducky, my 1974 Ford Courier with a 302. Today we're going to be pulling the bed so I can install a second gas tank between the frame rails because the factory 12-gallon tank that came in these things just isn't going to cut it with a 302. I made the radiator that I had gotten for free fit between the last video and now, so I'll briefly show you how I did that now and then we'll get to putting the gas tank out back. So between the last time you saw Duck and now, I mocked up that radiator I got for free and it fits pretty good. I will say I did have to trim the core support some more, especially back here, which now you can actually see. So I trimmed it off to those brackets on the side, those L brackets on either side so that the fins had full flow. And sorry for the crude solution to lighting that spot. The shop lights in my barn absolutely suck. But it does fit. I think it's a 69 Mustang radiator. It's a 2-row aluminum B-Cool radiator. I don't have a part number. I wish I did. But I trimmed off. They had stopped here for the old dinky radiator that was in it with the outlets on the wrong sides. So I trimmed out to here and then trimmed out for the L bracket to drop down. And I trimmed about 1 inch off of the L brackets on either side, maybe 1.25 inches, so that it would sit down between the bumper brackets. And it sits in there pretty good. I'm going to run 1/4 inch spacers between it and the bolts so that I have some clearance where the welds aren't rubbing on the core support. But other than that, it fits pretty well. It's going to hang down just a hair below the valence, maybe not even when I have a straight valence on there. Since I'm building this for off-road, I probably will build some kind of bash bar to protect that radiator under the bumper. I haven't decided yet. You can see there extra long hose for when the lower radiator hose outlet was on the wrong side. This radiator corrects that issue. But yeah, so possibly a 69 Mustang radiator is an idea for a swap in a Courier. It's hard to see because of the lighting, but I need some more clearance here, so you do have to run a shorty water pump if you're not willing to cut the firewall, which because the motor mounts and everything are already here, it fits in here pretty well. I think I can make this situation work. I'm not going to cut the firewall. So I'm going to leave it as is. But yeah, that might be a solution for anyone trying to cool a 302 in a Courier. May work, may not. I guess time will tell. So before I pull the bed off, I'm going to show you what tank I'm going to use. This is a 68 Mustang 68 Cougar 16-gallon tank. This is the original tank that came out of my Cougar. It's absolutely junk, plugged up with rust. The center unit, the whole bottom of the tank's rusty. It's garbage. This is just for mock-up to see if I have room for the 22-gallon tank, like I swapped into my Cougar from a 70 Cougar, or if I'm going to have to run the 16 because it won't clear the bed, or just see how much space I'm working with. Because I have this tank still kicking around, so I'm going to use it for mock-up and get a good one when we do the fuel system completely. So I'll pull the bed and show you guys how I'm going to make this fit. Okay, so I got the bed off. This cross member here for the spare is coming out, and then the factory tank's going to come out, at least while I'm welding, because it's full of varnish. I haven't decided if I want to run twin tanks yet. I'm leaning towards it and have a switching solenoid for the 2 tanks and the gauge. But yeah, here's the factory little 12-gallon tank with all its charcoal canister lines and everything. Factory electric pump, some Mopar pump someone stuck on here at some point when this one died. Let's see, is there a part number there? No, it's a Nicky pump. That's neat. Anyhow, pull that cross member, pull this tank that's full of varnish, and then make a frame for the drop-in tank. Okay, so I've got things mostly situated now. Just some angle iron for the tank. The tank's going to come in from the bottom and then hinge up against the other 3, and then I'm going to sandwich plate it in with this bar stock. I'm going to mock it all back up with this tank, even though this isn't the tank I'm using. Roll the truck outside so the lighting's a bit better, and then show you guys how it all fits. Okay, so here it is in the daylight, featuring my other Courier. That's Dorothy. And it fits pretty well. The 22-gallon tank's about 2.5 inches taller, but I did the measurements, and it should still clear the bed, and then I'm just hoping I can make a filler neck work to go out to the original filler neck location and not have to do bed fill. The sending unit will be right down here, and then it'll be pretty easy to run a hard line along the frame from that point. So we'll see when I get the 22-gallon tank. I'll probably make an update video on how I do the filler neck, or if I'm able to actually get it and get the angles right to go out the opposite side. I'm probably going to have to trim trim a couple of the bed supports, I think. But yeah, so there's a larger tank in your Courier if you need it. This isn't a very hard swap to do. You lose your spare tire cross member, but honestly, who's really worried about that in these trucks at this point? So that's how you put a larger tank in your Courier. Ditch the spare tire cross member, get you a tank from a 68 Mustang if you want a 16-gallon tank. And if you want a 22-gallon tank, get one from a 70 model. And then you can build it to where it'll drop in on top of the angle iron. I just didn't want to do that because I don't want to pull the bed off if I ever have to change this tank. And then, like I said, these two pieces of flat stock are going to sandwich right here along the sides to hold on the pinch weld of the tank to hold it up. And then I'm going to make a skid plate that goes from the front to the back underneath this tank at some point. I will make another video whenever I get the 22-gallon tank in here and sort of see what I'm working with the filler neck situation. Let me know if you want to see a video on Dorothy, my other Courier. Or if you want to see more of the Cougar, more of Ducky, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.